Hello there guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and on this video tonight I am going to be giving you a preview for the Tottenham Manchester United game at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium Friday 8:15 kickoff. Of course, this is our first visit to Tottenham's new stadium. I think Tottenham did pay around £1 billion for their new stadium. I think Tottenham, by the way, are still paying it off now. Obviously, I'll give you a bit of team news building up to the game and that. As you all know, Dele Alli for Tottenham will be missing the game on Friday because Dele Alli had been given a one-game suspension from the FA for coronavirus offensive social media posts, and Dele Alli had got fined around £50,000 for this. So that's a bad news from a Tottenham perspective. They've also got Tanganga injured as well. I think also too they've got Troy Parrott injured. But I think they're the only injuries that Tottenham have got. But the good news is, from a Tottenham perspective, they've got Harry Kane now back. Of course, Harry Kane did sustain a hamstring injury in January and they've also got Heung-min Son back from injury. Now, I spoke with you, didn't I, about Harry Kane a couple of months ago. I think it was actually, back in March, Harry Kane had come out and said he could leave Tottenham if he feels as though the team are not progressing, and he did say he will not stay at Tottenham for the sake of it. We inquired about his availability, but Tottenham, did say they wanted a world record fee of £200 million for Harry Kane. Kane has still got a contract with Tottenham until 2024 because in 2018, Kane signed a 6-year deal with Tottenham and that. And I think he's in his late 20s. I think Kane has got around 181 goals for Tottenham in all competitions. So he's like their third highest goal scorer in their history and all of that. So that's the latest on some of Tottenham's news. That's the latest on some of their news. Obviously, from a Tottenham perspective, they know they'll have to win this game on Friday, obviously, to keep their top four ambitions alive. Of course, Tottenham cannot win anything in terms of silverware this season because obviously, Tottenham are not in the FA Cup. They got knocked out by Norwich. Also, too, not in the Champions League. They got knocked out by RB Leipzig in that. But like I've mentioned, there's quite a few teams in that top four race. Of course, we're in that top four race. Arsenal looking to get the top four. Wolves, Sheffield United, they're all in the top four race as well. Don't forget. So that is the latest on some of Tottenham's news and that. But what I did say in regards to Tottenham, I think, they made a really bad mistake by recommending Jose Mourinho win. Of course, Jose Mourinho is no longer a manager at the top level. He has got a good pedigree behind him, reflecting on the amount of silverware he has won. I think Jose Mourinho has won around 25 major honours in his managerial career. Tottenham, should not have got rid of Mauricio Pochettino, because Pochettino did endure 5.5 years with Tottenham. Of course, Tottenham did sack Pochettino last year. But Pochettino did a very, very good job with Tottenham, analysing the vast majority of his tenure at Tottenham, Tottenham were competing in and out of the top four. And don't forget, Pochettino got them to their first ever Champions League final last season. So they made a mistake by getting rid of him. Like I said, Daniel Levy who's a Tottenham chairman. He's a very, very good businessman, but he doesn't, when it comes to, any teams going for any Tottenham players, he remains very, very ruthless, does Daniel Levy, Like I said, we've done business with Tottenham in the past. We got Dimitar Berbatov off them. We also got Michael Carrick off them as well. I was reading stories the other week and it said Tottenham had taken around a £175 million loan. Maybe something to do with paying off their stadium. They have made signings, since they appointed Jose Mourinho in. Of course, they got Jedson Fernandez. They also got Steven Bergwijn. I think, has he only made 2 signings or is it 3 signings Jose Mourinho's made for Tottenham? Of course, they did get Giovanni Lo Celso permanently from Real Betis. They also got Ryan Sessegnon in. There's other players that they've brought in as well. Quite a lot of Tottenham's players, or a few of their players, are actually, Mauricio Pochettino's. They got Davinson Sanchez around 3 years ago. They got Serge Aurier, Tanguy Ndombele. He's actually, one of Tottenham's most expensive signings, or is their most expensive signing and all of that. Like I said, Tottenham lost a few of their players in January, of course. Christian Eriksen left Tottenham after he endured 7 years with them. And also too, Danny Rose went out on loan to Newcastle and that. But there you go. I think the players that will be that Tottenham, the players that Tottenham will put out, I think definitely Kane will play for them. Human-Son will play for them. Tanguy Ndombele will play for them. Definitely Toby Alderweireld, he'll also play for them as well. I do expect Davinson Sanchez to play for them. So they have got quite a few good players. I think also too Hugo Lloris will be in goal for them because I think he's now fit. Is Hugo Lloris. Maybe Lucas Moura, he could play a part in the game as well. But there you go. But like I said, on my recent videos, I'm very, very convinced we can beat Tottenham on Friday. Because, like I've put into the equation, our record against the big six sides this season has been very, very good. We've taken 17 points against the big six sides this season. Solskjaer, became the first manager to beat Pep Guardiola 3 times in one season, which is obviously, very, very good. We've played City 4 times this season, but we've beaten them 3 times out of the 4 times we've played them. Also, too, we do remain unbeaten against Chelsea since Solskjaer came in. Of course, I think Solskjaer's beaten Chelsea 4 times as Manchester United manager and overcome Frank Lampard 3 times. Solskjaer's already beaten, Tottenham twice as a manager as well. So on Friday, he's looking to beat Tottenham for the 3rd time as a manager. Drew with Liverpool and that earlier on in the season. So we've done very, very well against the big six sides and all of that. But yeah, on Friday, Solskjaer's looking to overcome Jose Mourinho yet again. Because obviously, Solskjaer's already overcome him once, because we did beat Tottenham earlier on in the season at Old Trafford by 2-1, But yeah, like I said, it's going to be interesting to see how Ole Gunnar Solskjaer approaches this game against Tottenham. I think he's got an idea, Solskjaer, of what 11 he is going to go with on Friday. I think he's also got an idea of what formation he's going to go with as well, because Solskjaer has been changing formation persistently this season. He has been going with a 4-2-3-1 a lot. From my own perception, we don't really look expansive, with that 4-2-3-1. I think in the games against likes of City and Chelsea, he went with a 5-3-2. He's gone with a 3-4-1-2 a few times, and he's also gone with the 4-3-3. But, I think Solskjaer's got an idea of what formation he is going to go with. Jose Mourinho was talking earlier on this week, and he's been telling people that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is out of his depth at Manchester United. But, Jose Mourinho will want to get one on Solskjaer, Of course, Jose Mourinho is going to be reuniting with Manchester United. Of course, don't forget we had Jose Mourinho for 2.5 years at the football club. In the 2.5 years he was with us, he did win the Europa League and the League Cup, the Europa League and the League Cup, yeah. And he also got a second in his first season. Also, Jose Mourinho, the football club, when he was with us, spent 400 million, or was it just under 400 million pounds on 11 players. And there's only a few players that have left who Jose Mourinho brought in. So let's put into the equation Solskjaer's inheriting the vast majority of Jose Mourinho's players. But I've given you the main explanations why it didn't work out when we had Mourinho is because, his approach to the big games were just not good enough. We always used to park the bus against the big teams under Mourinho. He had bad disputes with the board, bad disputes with the top players, and just, quite frankly, the board weren't backing the signings that I wanted to recommend in to the football club and all of that. So there you go. Don't forget, we were supposed to be playing Tottenham on the 15th of March, but due to lockdown, the game could not go ahead. But it's very, very good now, that football is coming back. Of course, it's coming back tomorrow, Tomorrow, Manchester City play Arsenal and Sheffield United play Aston Villa. Obviously, games are going to be behind closed doors. Obviously, cardboard cutouts are going to happen. I think it costs around 25 quid for a cardboard cutout. Obviously, bring more atmosphere because obviously, in empty stadiums there's going to be no atmosphere in that. But there you go. But I'm very, very convinced we can beat Tottenham on Friday because, before the football season got suspended, we was in a good vein of form. We are unbeaten in our last 11 games in all competitions, and Solskjaer, will be under pressure to keep this good run of form up. There is 9 games remaining in the Premier League, and there's 92 games to play in all competitions. Now, like I said, Tino, I'm very, very convinced that we can get the top 4. Because as it stands at the moment, we are only 3 points behind top 4 and that. And look at our running. I think the only difficult games we've got in the 9 games we've got remaining is the game on Friday against Tottenham. And I think, the Leicester game is also a hard game. That's obviously, the final game of the season. But I think the other 7, are pretty easy. So in reality, we should definitely get that top 4. We really, really should. And that. Like I said, we've got quite a few priorities. The FA Cup and the Europa League, they are 2 priorities for Manchester United. The FA Cup, of course, is a chance for us getting some silverware on the board. Within the FA Cup quarter-finals, we have got Norwich. And, of course, the Europa League, is a chance of getting silverware on the board, like I mentioned. Plus, it's another route, to Champions League qualification, of course, if we didn't get the top 4. But if we could win the FA Cup and the Europa League, or at least one of them, it would be a memorable first full season for Solskjaer. Now, for this game on Friday, I've already given you some of Tottenham's news. Now I'm going to give you, some of Manchester United's team news as well. So, like I updated you recently, it did say that Paul Pogba for this game against Tottenham is going to be benched. He's going to be benched. Obviously, a lot of Manchester United fans do disagree with this. Me personally speaking, anyway, Paul Pogba should be starting. There's no excuse about it because obviously, Paul Pogba is now fully fit. The last game he played for Man United was our 4-1 win against Newcastle on Boxing Day. And the last time he started from the start was back in September. But I haven't really had a perception on Paul Pogba this season because his appearances have been limited, due to his injuries. He has only played 8 times this season for the football club. And I'm very, very excited about, the prospects of Pogba playing alongside Bruno Fernandes. Paul Pogba could still start, but it did say earlier on this week that Paul Pogba's going to be benched. But if he's benched, he'll probably, come on in the game anyway, will Pogba. But, I'm very, very excited about him playing alongside Bruno Fernandes, revert back to what I said. Because I've got to say that is the best midfield in the Premier League is Paul Pogba and Bruno Fernandes. It really, really is in that. I think, what we should do is keep Bruno Fernandes in the number 10 and obviously, put Pogba in the number 8 or maybe the number 6. There were stories coming out last week saying that Paul Pogba and Bruno Fernandes' positions have been changed. It did say, we're going to give Paul Pogba the number 10 and Bruno Fernandes will be playing as the number 8. They've already played together anyway because we recently played a friendly against West Brom. Well, 2 friendlies against West Brom. Lost to them 2-1. Then we did beat them 3-1, West Brom. And Pogba and Bruno Fernandes played together in our midfield in them games, for the very, very first time. Like I said, Bruno Fernandes is key to Paul Pogba's future at Manchester United because if they can build a fantastic partnership in our midfield, I think Pogba will commit his long-term future with the club and, he will end up signing a new long-term contract at Man United. As it stands at the moment, Pogba's got a year left on his Manchester United contract, but the club do have an option to extend it for a further year and that. Paul Pogba, is one of the highest paid players at the club. He's on just under 300 grand a week. He's the most expensive signing at the club at the moment because we did pay 89 million for Paul Pogba and all of that. But more or less now his future has been resolved. Adnan Januzaj, who's a former Man United player and also a close friend to Pogba, he said that Pogba will stay at Man United beyond this season and all of that. But hopefully, he can exceed expectations. Like I said, Paul Pogba's had a long-running transfer saga. There's been stories about him possibly going back to Juventus. Paul probably did enjoy 4 good years with Juventus. There was stories about him, going to Real Madrid and that. PSG have been in for him in recent weeks. Barcelona have been in for him in the past. And like I said, since the turn of the year, Pogba's agent Mini Raiola has been talking a lot. And he's been in the process, at least in the last couple of years, of trying, get his client a transfer away from Man United completed. But we've been very, very critical of Mini Raiola, reflecting on some of the comments he has said since the turn of the year. He's had talks with Juventus and he's also had talks with Real Madrid and all of that. So there you go. So Paul Pogba could still start anyway. Bruno Fernandes, definitely, the best midfielder in the Premier League. Probably, the best player we've got at the moment, and probably, the best player we've recruited in, or one of the best players we've recruited in since the Alex Ferguson era. I'm very confident, Bruno Fernandes will continue his good vein of form. Because before the football season got suspended, he was in a good vein of form, Bruno Fernandes. 3 goals and 4 assists so far. Every Premier League game he has played in so far, Bruno Fernandes, he has been given man of the match. He won Player of the Month for February, reflecting on his good performances as well. But he's definitely made the difference in the team, and the signing of him has definitely saved Solskjaer's job at Manchester United. We've got Bruno Fernandes in a deal worth £65 million with add-ons included in that. But what a difference, he has made in the team. Definitely in that. Obviously, now Marcus Rashford is back. I'm looking forward to seeing Marcus Rashford play on Friday against Tottenham because he's come back from back injury. Yeah, don't forget Rashford sustained a back injury in January in our 1-0 win against Wolves in the FA Cup third round replay. Sustained this injury, did Marcus Rashford. And he was out for a good, 3 months or something like that. And there was reports saying that, Rashford could be out for until the end of the season. But he's been doing very, very well in training. And Marcus Rashford, of course, is now back. I did say, Marcus Rashford overall is one of our best players. And he was one of our best players earlier on in the season, before he got this back injury. Before he got this back injury. Good news, by the way, regarding Rashford. I do want, to give him a lot of credit because recently Rashford has made the government perform a U-turn on scrapping free school meals. And obviously, reflecting on what Rashford has done, Boris Johnson, has fancied Marcus Rashford a lot. So, yeah, now kids are going to be getting free school meals and that because Rashford, was recently talking, of how he was brought up and all of that, and he knows what it feels like. Because basically, I think Rashford, had an hard upbringing and that, with his mother and stuff. But I've got to give him a lot of credit, for what he's done. He's also, raised money as well, due with this pandemic and that. And he's donated to charity. That's also, very, very good to see as well. So give Rashford a lot of credit for that. But, Rashford's been a United player since the age of 7. Like I said, he was in our youth setup for several years. We actually got Rashford from Fletcher Moss Rangers, was it, if I'm right? Rashford's been in our senior squad since 2016, and since then he has become an integral part of our team. Rashford has scored over 60 senior goals in just over 200 appearances for the club. When Rashford broke into the senior squad, don't forget he scored twice in his Europa League debut against Midtjylland. He scored twice in his Premier League debut against Arsenal. He also scored in his first Manchester derby. He scored on his League Cup debut, scored on his international debut for England, and he's only the age of 22 is Marcus Rashford and that. Like I said, Rashford can play in the number 9 and he can also play out wide. On Friday maybe Rashford will play central, maybe Rashford will play out wide. But actually, this season Martial has been playing in that number 9, which is centrally. But we actually, could put Martial back out wide now and that. So there you go. With Rashford, now obviously, being back, I think Ighalo's going to be a squad player. So I think Ighalo's starts will be limited. Of course, before the football season got suspended, Odion Ighalo, was doing very, very well. Ighalo has got 4 goals in 8 appearances for the football club so far. I think 2 of his goals came against Derby in the FA Cup. One of his goals came against Club Brugge, and I think his other goal came against Lask and all of that. So he'll probably make substitute appearances. Will Odin Ighalo? Don't forget it confirmed the other week that we'd extended Odin Ighalo's loan. We'd extended his loan until January 2021. So Ighalo's going to be staying at Man United for a further 7 months. So that's obviously very, very good news. And we paid Shanghai Shenhua just over 10 million to extend his loan and all of that. Don't forget, with no option to buy Ighalo, or there's no obligation to buy him at the end of the loan. So after when the loan spell is finished, he will go back to Shanghai Shenhua and all of that will Odin Ighalo. But yeah. So that's some of our team news. I'll give you my predicted 11. Well, I actually give you my predicted 11 the other week, but I'll go through it again. This is the 11 I think Solskjaer's going to go with on Friday. I think obviously David De Gea will be in goal. We've confirmed David De Gea is our number one. He's been our number one for several years. De Gea will remain our number one, obviously, for the remainder of this season, but maybe next season he may not be our number one. Maybe next season Dean Henderson could become our number one. Don't forget, Solskjaer did recently say regarding Dean Henderson that, he said he will be England's number one and Man United's number one goalkeeper in the future. This is what, he said. Dean Henderson's done very, very well with Sheffield United. This has been his second season on loan with Sheffield United. But Chris Wilder did say regarding Dean Henderson that he's close to extending his loan with Sheffield United, but he has been their player of the season. But yeah. At right back, obviously, Wan-Bissaka, because obviously, Wan-Bissaka is our first choice right back, and he's enjoyed a fantastic first season with Manchester United. I think Bissaka's defensive contributions being very, very good. My element of concern about him is his attacking. He doesn't really show much attacking intent, so we need to see more of the attacking side of Wan-Bissaka's game. Delors obviously the backup. Delors now back from injury. It will be Lindelof and Maguire as a centre-back partnership, because they're blended in very, very well together at the back of Lindelof and Maguire. Obviously, Lindelof's facing competition now, though, because obviously we've got Bay and Alex Tuanzebe back. At left back on Friday, it will be Luke Shaw. I think Luke Shaw will remain our first choice left back for the remainder of this season. Maybe next season, he could be definitely facing more competition from Brandon Williams. Brandon Williams next season could actually be our first choice left back. I think the three in the midfield, if Pogba obviously starts, it will be Pogba, Bruno Fernandes and McTominay. If Pogba is benched, I think we'll go with Bruno Fernandes, McTominay, and of course Fred and all of that. But I did say our first choice midfield trio now in general will be Bruno Fernandes, Pogba and McTominay. Fred will play instead of one of them so often. Matic is a backup now, isn't he, really? Matic, will find more time now on the bench. And then, the front three, going to go with Martial, probably on the left, Daniel James on the right. Even though Daniel James is more effective from the left, we've played him on the right for the vast majority of this season. And, of course, Marcus Rashford up top. So that is my predicted 11 for this game against Tottenham. Of course, don't forget teams are now allowed to make 5 substitutions and that. But I'm really, really looking forward to this game. Like I mentioned, it's Tottenham's new ground. We haven't played there before and that. It's in a static stadium. I think I've seen it. Does it hold a 60,000 capacity? Is it bigger than the Emirates or is it as big as the Emirates? Tottenham's ground and that. We've had some good games, with Tottenham over the years and that. You remember the game against Tottenham, 5-3 when we was 3-0 down. Wasn't that back in 2001? You had the game in 2009 when we beat them 5-2 and, we was 2-0 down. So there's been some good games, between Manchester United and Tottenham, But I'm just really, really glad now that the football season is back. I really, really am that. But, before the football season got suspended, Solskjaer, was saying that, a lot needed to be changed at Manchester United. Of course, when he replaced Jose Mourinho back in December 2018. And like I've said to Solskjaer's changed some things. I've also seen improvements under him, since he came in and that, So far, Solskjaer's recommended 5 good players into the football club. Has obviously, made 4 permanent signings because he got a Gallo on loan. Solskjaer's also got rid of a lot of the deadwood since he got recommended into Manchester United. We have seen a total of 19 players leave the club, since Solskjaer, got recommended in. I think got rid of around 8 or 9 senior players and got rid of around 10 young players as well, But he has got rid of a lot of the deadwood, since he came in and that. Like I said, Solskjaer has promoted the youth very, very well. The young players have been given their opportunities this season. Greenwood's obviously, being given his chance. He should get more starts when the season resumes and next season, because a lot of Greenwood's appearances this season have come from the substitutes bench. Williams is being given his chances. Williams has played around 20 odd games for us this season. Yeah, but the likes of Angel Gomez, Tahith Chon and James Garner, they found, game time very, very difficult indeed. But, definitely players have improved under Solskjaer, especially the top players. We've definitely, improved in the transfer market under him as well. But this is the game of the season, Tottenham and Manchester United. It definitely is the game of the season and that. Obviously, earlier on today, I give you an update on some more transfer news, didn't I? Keep you up to date of what players are linked with Manchester United. Of course, earlier on today, on my recent video, I give you the latest news on Jadon Sancho. Obviously, the Borussia Dortmund boss, Lucien Favre, made an admission saying that Sancho could still leave Borussia Dortmund in the summer transfer window, but he's not sure what's going to be happening with Jadon Sancho. But Dortmund did say a while back that they will not step in Jadon Sancho's way if he does want to leave. Of course, you had Borussia Dortmund's head of football recently. I think it's called Sebastian Kehl. He said that Sancho will stay at Dortmund for another year. There's been also stories coming out earlier on this week. I think it was earlier on this week, saying that Sancho is open to making a return to Man City because we are struggling to pay Borussia Dortmund's asking price, because Dortmund have said that they do want at least £100 million for Sancho. The Telegraph reported out last week saying that Borussia Dortmund could demand up to £150 million for the player. But, we've already confirmed anyway that Jadon Sancho is our number one priority target. Of course, we've got a few alternatives, on our agenda if we don't sign Sancho. There's been talks of Leon Bailey today from Bayer Leverkusen. Also, too, Rabbi Matondo was spoken about a while back. Figo Almeida's been mentioned. Ansumain Fati Vieira from Barcelona. We're seeing him as an alternative to Sancho as well. Don't forget, we recently had a £135 million bid turned down for Ansumain Fati and all of that. So the news on Sancho. So there's still a chance, we could actually, get him on the board. The news on Donny van der Beek. I give you the news regarding Donny van der Beek earlier on. Reportedly now Man United are leading the race for Donny van der Beek because Real Madrid have backtracked reportedly. Rafael van der Vaart has currently come out and said that he wants Donny van der Beek to go to Real Madrid instead of Manchester United. The news obviously on Kai Havertz from Bayer Leverkusen. I give you the news as well on Willian earlier on, because there's been stories stemming from France Football saying that we've been in negotiations with Willian's representatives over us possibly getting him on a free transfer and all of that. So the news on all of the transfers anyway. Like I said, it's going to be interesting to see how Ole Gunnar Solskjaer approaches the summer transfer window. Solskjaer, has already said, he wants to make around 3 major signings or 4 major signings at the end of the season, because he believes we need this to become title contenders and, for us to be back being a competitive elite level football club. Like I said, our transfer budget recently got revealed. Solskjaer's got around £269 million to spend in the summer transfer window, so that should be enough, to get the players, that we do want to recommend in. And, Solskjaer's already identified the areas in the squad where he does want to strengthen up. Of course, he wants to recommend the striker in. He wants to recommend the right winger in. He wants to recommend the midfielder in. And he's still looking to recommend the centre-half in as well. Is Solskjaer and that, But he has already revealed his plans for the summer transfer window. There you go. Don't forget, Solskjaer was talking the other week as well, saying that he will avoid buying rotten apples in the summer transfer window. But he basically, warned our players he will not tolerate any rotten apples in the squad. He won't tolerate any rotten apples in the squad. And I think Solskjaer still wants to continue the policy of recruiting young British talents to Manchester United like he did do last summer, because 3 of the 5 players he has brought in so far, of course, are British and that. But I think, we can enjoy the perfect summer transfer window and that. And our expectations next season will be to challenge for the title. Like I said, we've got priorities for the remainder of this season. That's the FA Cup and the Europa League and that. I said to you on my video this morning, didn't I? If we fail to get top 4, is Solskjaer finished at Manchester United? Probably not, because I think we're going to give him another season, because, it is a transition period, and it has been a transition period for quite some time and that. In the last 7 years, Man United have been playing catch-up. This has been the 7th season now. We failed to mount any kind of title challenge up. We haven't won the Premier League since 2013, so the last time we won it was under Alex Ferguson and that. But in the last 7 years, we've had different managers with different philosophies. 3 managers have been sacked since the Ferguson era, and that was Moyes, Louis van Gaal and Jose Mourinho. So Solskjaer's our 4th permanent manager since the Alex Ferguson era and that, But we want to be back, to as we was before. Solskjaer's been at the club 18 months now, or I think it's 18 months, or is it longer than 18 months? I think he's been permanent Manchester United manager for a good 16 months now, The main explanation why we give Solskjaer the job permanently, though, because he did really, really well in that 3-month period when he was the interim manager. But Solskjaer knows he's got the backing of Ed Woodward, and he's also got the backing of the Glazers as well. So let's just put that into the equation. But it's going to be, like I said, he's got decisions to make in the summer transfer window. We've got, don't forget, we've got to make a decision on Angel Gomez's future. We've got 2 weeks to do that. We've already made a decision on Bay and Delo. They're going to be staying at the club. So, yeah. So, anyway, guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always. And take care. God bless. And I'll see you all again very, very soon. Bye.